If the money in your pocket one day becomes completely digital, will every purchase you make and every step you take become instantly visible? A coffee you drink in the morning, a bus ticket you buy, the debt you send to a friend, or your grocery receipt. Imagine a world where all of this can be recorded from a single center, second by second. And let me tell you something even more frightening. This world is not a science fiction movie. It is a brand new reality currently being built in the laboratories of global central banks. Today, we are talking about central bank digital currencies, a revolutionary technology that could change the boundaries of our financial freedom forever. When you have no cash left in your pocket, will you truly be free? Let's put aside all the information pollution circulating on the internet and start with the most basic question. What exactly is a CBDC, or central bank digital currency? This is not a decentralized cryptocurrency like Bitcoin or Ethereum. On the contrary, it is the exact digital equivalent of printed paper money, issued directly by a state's central bank. Today, you already see digital numbers on your screen when you use a credit card or mobile banking. However, those numbers are deposits offered to you by a commercial bank. A CBDC, however, eliminates the banks in between. You have a digital wallet directly at the central bank. Currently, China is leading the world in this regard with its Digital Yuan project. The European Central Bank is conducting massive tests on the digital euro. The Bank of England and dozens of other countries are conducting pilot studies to launch their own digital currencies. In other words, this is not just an idea, it is a global project currently being implemented. When you hear all these warnings, a justified question may come to your mind. We already use bank cards, credit cards, and mobile payment systems today. Doesn't every transfer or online purchase we make already leave a record somewhere? Why are we so worried about digital currency? Yes, today a very large part of your financial life already leaves a digital footprint. But there is a critical distinction here. In the current system, your data sits scattered on the servers of dozens of different commercial banks, payment companies, and platforms. It is not collected in a single center. Without legal processes, no one can see your entire financial map on a single screen. However, in the CBDC architecture, this structure can theoretically become completely centralized. A massive data highway is being built where all transactions pass through a single gate. This is where the real fear begins. People's primary concern is that their spending will become centrally visible and analyzable. Imagine, if a government agency wanted to, could it determine which newspaper someone reads, which association they donate to, or which hospital they are treated at, based solely on payment data? Could citizen profiles be created through spending habits? The combination of the social credit system in China with digital money has shown us all how realistic these dystopian concerns can be. However, I must emphasize a very important scientific sentence here. A digital currency does not automatically mean a surveillance state. Technology in itself is not good or bad. Everything depends on how those codes are written and how the system is designed. The problem is not the technology itself, but the architectural choice that states will make. Because not every digital currency project is the same. There are 3 different design models before us. The first model is the full identity system. In this system, even the smallest expense you make is directly linked to your ID number and name. This is the most dangerous and most traceable model. The second model is the limited anonymity system. In this system, small daily payments remain anonymous just like cash, and the system does not track you. The third model is the layered privacy model. While small transactions like buying coffee or taking the bus are completely private to you, high-value purchases such as houses or cars become traceable by the state to prevent money laundering. In short, whether digital money will be a shackle or a convenience depends entirely on the intentions of those who design it. The most striking and most dangerous part of the CBDC discussions is the issue of programmable money. In the current banking system, 100 units of currency is 100 units everywhere. You spend it as you wish. But digital money is software that can have code written into it. In other words, your money can decide for you. According to discussions raised by some theorists, states could code specific conditions into the money. For example, it could be ensured that social aid money given to you is only valid for basic food products. Or, a final expiration date could be put into your digital salary to stimulate the economy. It could be said that if you don't spend this money within 30 days, it will be deleted from your account. Imagine that one day the money in your account can only be spent in permitted places. Sounds terrifying, doesn't it? Of course, for now, these features are only theoretical design discussions, and not every project aims for this. But the mere fact that the system has this potential is enough to scare people. Not only conspiracy theorists but also respected digital rights advocates and security experts around the world are making very serious warnings about this. Although the European Central Bank makes reassuring statements to the public about privacy, the concerns are multidimensional. The danger of behavioral profiling can be used not only politically but also commercially. Besides this, the risk of financial censorship is a major topic of discussion. Could the access to the financial system of a dissident writer or a group that governments do not like be shut down with a single click in seconds? Furthermore, building a massive centralized database creates an incredible target for the world's largest hacker groups. If a data breach occurs, the economic secrets of an entire country could circulate on the internet. Centralized control inherently brings great weaknesses with it. Despite all these risks, why are states in such a hurry to switch to this system? There are very logical economic reasons for this. First, the use of cash is gradually decreasing worldwide, and states do not want to lose control of the money they issue to private banks or cryptocurrencies. The second reason is that printing paper money, transporting it in armored vehicles, and protecting it costs states billions of dollars. Third, the most definitive way to fight the informal economy and tax evasion is the digitalization of every transaction. Also, thanks to the new system, cross-border payments will be much cheaper and will happen in seconds. In a moment of crisis or pandemic, state support can be deposited directly into people's digital wallets in seconds without any bank intermediary. So, the point is not just to track people, but to speed up the system and make it cheaper. So, when this new system arrives, what will happen to cash, which is the oldest habit in human history? How will our lives change if cash disappears completely? Cash is not just a piece of paper. It is the physical symbol of individual freedom. Cash is completely anonymous. It does not leave a name when changing hands. It does not need the internet, an electrical outlet, or a technological infrastructure to work. In a completely digitalized world, when the electricity goes out or there is a failure in the system, you literally cannot buy anything. If the system rejects you, the virtual wealth in your pocket remains nothing more than a number on the screen. A cashless society means a society that has completely surrendered to technology. In conclusion, let's return to that burning question we asked at the beginning. Can every expense you make be tracked? The short answer is yes. Digital currencies technically have the capacity to make everything traceable. But this does not mean that every transaction of yours will be monitored on a screen. What will determine the future here is not the technology itself, but the legal boundaries, data access rules, and democratic transparency that will respect your privacy. The question of the future is no longer whether money will be digital. That transformation has already begun. The real big question is who that digital money will make visible. If one day you have no cash left in your pocket that you can touch, what will be the new definition of freedom? So, what do you think about this? Is the complete digitalization of money a miracle that makes our lives easier, or a digital cage that will take away all our freedoms? Let's discuss your ideas in the comments. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel to continue exploring the boundaries of the future.